we first came to Kasaragod, we also wanted to understand what is this place that we are coming to? What drives it? What is the spirit of the place? So based on that, we started to delve into the history, into the culture, the architecture of Kasaragod, and we found very interesting things. Our client, he is also from a Kasaragod background. He's Kasaragod born, brought up. His ancestors used to trade across the Arabian Sea. So he came with all that. And we wanted to reflect his culture and his heritage in the architecture. This property is a little more than an acre. When you walk out, it seems like much more than that because we've kept the building in a very tight footprint. We've used levels, we've put things on multiple levels to keep the footprint to a minimum. The built-up area is 8,500 square feet, including the garage and the boat shed and everything. But when you walk through it, because it is so closely intermeshed with the landscape, it looks like it's much bigger. But it's actually only 8,500 square feet. But when we first walked in here, it was a low, swampy area from where you couldn't see the river except from the last 6 meters adjacent to the river. Today, I've put all the spaces that didn't need a view, like a home theatre, a boat shed, a garage, staff quarters, pool plant room. All of these we fitted it in. We raised up the house and then we built up the ground to the house. So now when you walk around, it feels like the ground was always here, You're in your house, you can see the view. It fits perfectly. We worked on 3 dimensions. We worked with the forms, we worked with the materials, and we worked with the details. So in each of these, when we work with the forms, we don't simply copy the forms of traditional architecture, put them into a building and say, here, I've made Kasaragod for you. We delve deep into what creates what animates those forms, what creates the character that those forms bring. So what we discovered is that they have, very strong volumes, very steep volumetric roofs, the steeply pitched tile roofs. So those are the things that we came from the form. So the house unfolds like a story. You walk out and there's a very traditional door facing you. You walk in the door and you're in a little foyer that is at the same time a part of the majlis. It's a grand space. You're there for a second, you realize, okay, I've arrived.
So this project was a little different. We were forced to do it in a way that is different from the usual way we do it. He had collected a lot of, the prints of stamps, which was already framed, so the size was all set. The main thing is that it has a lot of backdrop of the pool and things like that, the drawing room. So we didn't really have to do much in that room. We just made use of the colors of the stained glass and things like that. So it's sort of simple.
The beauty of that dining space is it can open up completely and become an outdoor space. The dining connects intimately to the veranda and it has a sliding folding that when you open it out, the whole thing becomes either a veranda or a dining. So you can have dining out on the veranda or you can have the veranda coming all the way back in and the veranda faces the pool. So actually your pool deck is also your dining suddenly. So we've tried to use all these we've tried to dissolve the barriers between spaces and we've tried to make the spaces flexible.
common family room. That's actually I feel the most interesting space of the whole house. It has a character, it's got rubble walls. Because of the rubble walls, it's sort of dark. It's got interesting patterns of glass and the light falling in at different times of the day. And then there is this corner window, the light that comes in through that. And it forms interesting patterns of light and shade.
The joinery is very modern in the way it's built, but again it evokes the old windows and doors of Kasaragod.
It's not exactly a crockery shelf, but it's with drawers and things like that. And we made a pocket where the TV can go in and can come up. So that has become the centerpiece of the room. It's kind of a divider, but it's like a functional divider, not just a screen. It's a useful thing also.
We had to cheat a little bit. For example, the floor here. It looks like clay tile. It's actually something called clinker. Clinker is clay fired to a much higher temperature than normal. So it becomes something not terracotta. Okay, the surfaces are very hard, the water absorption is much less. So why did we use that? The traditional clay tile floors of North Kerala, they age very, very rapidly. They lose a layer, they become frayed, worn, deteriorated. This one doesn't. The kitchen is a very intimate space. At the same time, it's big enough to hold the whole family. It can even be a second family room. There's a table right in the middle of the kitchen, unusual for most kitchens in Kerala. Normally the work area is where you leave all your waste bins and all the vessels to be washed and so on and so forth. He said, in the culture of Kasaragod, when ladies come by themselves to visit, they don't want to come to the front door. They want to come to the kitchen side. So when they come in, it should be a welcoming space. So if you go to a work area, there is a charvadi there. So you should walk in from that side just to experience what it feels like to enter from that side.
The master bedroom has an excellent view, so that steals the show. Okay, so the rest of the elements are like, it's a very symmetrical room. So we had a 4-poster bed there, which goes with the symmetry of the whole room. And the rest of the space where we had like a built-in cabinet, and that's like a functional thing, where he needs that space for an office table and some storage.
You can't swim in it, but it's a plunge pool with a full filtration system. If you're coming in hot and sweaty from a day out on the backwater in a boat, this is the best place to be. The mother's bedroom also has a view to the river, albeit a very muted one. You're seeing it across the landscape through the plants, but it's still a beautiful view of the river. It's such a cozy, warm, inviting little bedroom. That was intended to be the bedroom for the mother, who unfortunately is no longer with us.
For the girls' room, he had a metal bed, a very slender looking, sleek bed. The room was made to cater to that, that centerpiece that was the bed.
There's a bay window that overlooks the river. You can look down into the landscape below. You turn around, you come back out. There's a flight of steps going down. At the foot of the flight of steps, there is a powder room, and the door at the end of the corridor leads to a beautiful home theatre, state of the art. You should watch a movie there sometime. Now you've come out and you walk out into the veranda. On the opposite side from the veranda, you can see across from the swimming pool, there's a outhouse.
About the guest block has a guest bedroom, it has a changing room, and it also has an office space. So about the bedroom, as I said, the bed was already bought, so we matched the furniture around it. We got another sofa purchased which matched with the bed, and then we had all the built-in furniture that is in the dress matched with this, with cane and wood, with lighter wood, and the ceiling was also made with lighter wood, so everything came together.
And this whole house is designed around a landscape space on the east, and the heart of this landscape space is the pool. There's an infinity edge pool that is visible from almost every single one of the rooms of the house. The swimming pool is the heart of that landscape, and from the swimming pool, the ground tapers down gently, imperceptibly. You don't feel that you're walking down, and it ends in a walkway at the edge of the water. You can walk down, there's a boat landing, you can pull the boats in, there's a full jetty there, and the client has boats that he uses to go out on the river from time to time.
The whole experience was really enjoyable. It was mainly because it was very different from what we did usually. The process was completely different. It's not the pattern, the sequence was completely reversed. So it just threw us off our, comfort zone. But it was a very good experience, and it was a pleasure working with the client, Mr. Bushra. He taught us a lot. We sort of respected each other's design sensibilities and worked together on this. So, it was a different experience, but very, very, very gratifying.